I had a thought worth mentioning. Um, there was a time where I believe Justin went to Vegas to participate in the World Series, and Mike was, I guess, in a position where he had to make a decision. You know, maybe the both of them. Maybe they had a meeting and discussed whether or not Mike should play in the stream while Justin was gone. You know, let's make some assumptions. Let's say they, had that talk, perhaps without really thinking in 3D, like I said before. Maybe the maybe the agreement that they came to was, hey, it's a no lose situation. If you play, you lose, not a bad thing. Throw a couple losses into your um, sessions. Even the score a little bit. You know, um, and if you win, even better. Hey, I don't need Justin to win. I win without him. So, they probably looked at this as a no lose situation. My light went out. Nah, I think I'm good. All right. So, you know, I'm trying to think about this, in real time as if I was there and I was going through it and I was trying to figure out, how to make this as believable as possible. That'd be the easy decision. Let's go ahead and play while you're out of town, and whatever happens, it'll be good either way. It's basically a win-win situation. Um, what Mike didn't factor in is without the feed. And this brings up another point. Let's think about this. Um, if Mike was getting the feed, does he need Justin to be there? What is the what is the audio significance of the scam? Let's figure that out. That's a good point. How does a scam not work with Justin out of town? Could it have been an agreement between the two of them? Well, let's just cut everything off and let's have a natural session, an organic session, and let's see. Let's throw that into the data, and we can point back to it. Maybe it was just an agreement, just to shut it down and just to play an organic session. Because if he was getting the feed, now Matt Berkey would know. Does the URL change from a daily basis on each feed? I mean, is it like a dynamic URL where somebody would have to present Mike with the current URL of this particular feed because it's developed dynamically by the software and it's not a static number that you can just put into your phone and grab the data. Does that make sense? Um, so why would Mike need anything in his hat? Why would he need to hear or have conversations with Justin during the session if you know your opponent's hole cards? It's a very good question. I mean, if you've got the hole cards on your phone, you don't need any audio. If you can't win a session without knowing what your opponent is holding on to, I don't need anybody to tell me how to play any further than knowing that this guy has ace king. I mean, I don't need it. I don't. Why throw another layer of complication and another layer of hey, this is my kitty. What's going on, Cleo? Seems like all poker players have cats, huh? They always walk on right in the middle of the stream. But yeah, in any case, so yeah, that's something that needs to be looked at, you know. And it just kind of occurred to me, you know, I don't think we should be cavalier about it, you know, because if you know a person's hole cards, you do not need audio. Do not need audio. In fact, audio would make it worse, because now you're trying to communicate and you're trying to listen, and you know, it could be overwhelming. You know, you're in the middle of the hand, you're trying to figure out whether or not you have the implied odds to go all in and everything, and somebody's barking in your ear. No, 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 no. You know, and as many people have said, you know, there could be many versions of the cheating. You know, it could be a could have been one way, one session. Okay, let's try this. Let's throw this in the mix. No, that's too complicated. Let's take that back out. You know, so we have to think that way. You know, that maybe it doesn't have to be done the same way in every stream. So there's that. But I'd also like to say this. That you know, I had mentioned earlier that there was um, a sickness to Mike. You know, that he wasn't capable in the heat of the moment to know that, to tell himself, you know, okay, I'm gonna go ahead and lose this pot. You know, I'm gonna lose a couple grand here. I'm gonna lose a couple grand there. You know, I'm gonna make some decisions that aren't accurate. I'm gonna throw in some losses, and you know, you ask yourself why. You know, why do you have to win 65 out of 69 sessions? Why is that important? You know, why would you take that risk? That's dangerous. You know, if you're not a poker player and you're listening to this broadcast, that can't happen. You know, great players win at a 65% clip, let's say, and that's a Tom Dwan. That's the best in the business. You know, maybe I'm just guessing. I don't know what the actual winning clip is, but nobody wins at a 97% clip. Nobody. You know, it can't happen. The cards are too random for that to happen. You know, um, opponents will adjust their strategy to you if you continue to bully them. You know, no poker player is going to continue to be bullied, because they understand in their heart of hearts that you can't always have it. So their play changes to adapt to what you're doing. And that's why you don't win at a 97% clip. Nobody. So, you know, again, talking about the sickness. The sickness means that, you know, Mike started to read his press clippings. And after a while, in my theory, you know, it stopped becoming about the money. You know, he made $300,000. You know, his pockets are fat. You know, but what's happening is, with that, is the celebrity of it. And Mike, in his interviews is coming with this, passive aggressive, oh, I never wanted the limelight, and the Stones, they saw that I was winning and they wanted to make me a superstar, and I was like, oh, I don't really want to do that. But it comes with the territory. I'm a winner. Listen, he loved that shit. He loved it so much that it became more important than the money. You understand that? That's why he couldn't stop. That's why when he beats somebody down with an all-in, he's giggling and chopping it up and high-fiving. People don't do that. You know what I mean? You don't want to rub it in the face of your opponent that you bluffed him again and again. And, oh, round on me? No, 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 no. That's not the way it works. And that's why so many of the players that played against him were suspicious. But they're suspicious. What can they do? They can't. They can't go to management. They can't sound like a poor loser. They can have their opinions, but they can not play the game anymore if they feel something's fishy. But no one really wants to be that one, who cries about a loss. You want to be a man or a woman, and you want to be like, look, I played against the great Mike. He played well, and he got me for a few dollars. I'll get him next time. That's the attitude of a poker player. Go home, lick your wounds, and come back and try maybe a different strategy. Which actually probably was what happened on those two losses that I saw. Where one guy made a really light call. Both guys, made a call that Mike wouldn't think that they would make, obviously, and Mike ended up losing the pot, and was disappointed. By the way, you can see the look on his face, like, "Oh my God, you called me with that." Oh man, there's a lot of levels to this. I'm really trying to break it down, and again, I'm going to finish with, why am I doing this? I'm doing this because, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. No jury is going to understand or care how Mike plays poker. Why Mike went all in on the turn with 7 high. No jury's going to care, and if a jury doesn't, if a juror doesn't play poker, they're not going to understand that Mike's conviction should be based on the fact that he played these hands in a strange way. People play bad poker. You can't convict on that. You get it? What I'm trying to show you guys is that, whether Mike is innocent or guilty is dependent on these circumstantial facts that are everywhere. And my job here is to bring them all together and make you guys think in a way where, you're from this. If you grow up in a hard area, you know not to walk down certain streets. You know not to walk around with pockets full of money. You know not to pull out $100 bill to buy a candy bar. I mean, there's just like things you do to preserve your ability to survive in a dangerous world. In the poker world, you have to use the same logic to allow yourself to navigate. And I'm a poker player. I assume you're a poker player. We're gonna go ahead and be poker smart, right? All right, so I'm gonna close with that. I don't know if this is really an episode. I'm not really touching on anything new, but I guess for the sake of convenience, we'll call this episode number 4. But let me know what you think. I'm not getting a whole bunch of comments. I want some dialogue on this. Am I right? Am I wrong? Do you agree with me? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it as if we were sitting at the table with Mike and we were witnessing this going on. And I'm in the bathroom and I see you. Mike's at the table. Do I say to you, man, is this weird to you? I mean, how did Mike make that call, man? How did Mike know to go all in right there? You know, I think I'm a chip up, man. I'm gonna take my chips up. You know, I'm not comfortable playing in this game. We're poker players. Let's talk about it. Give me your opinion, in-depth opinion about, could you have played in this game and not suspected anything? Can you play a game with a guy that never loses? That always makes the right decision? 66 out of 69 winning sessions in a row. Only losing session when Justin's out of town. What am I missing? Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button.